yet, but I think it's interesting that both of them were looking for caretaking.
Yes.
So they both wanted to be what I would call mothers, and they got into a relationship where they were both looking to be mothers.
That is exactly what is going on with Charles. He needed a mother. And as soon as I can bring this up, we'll get to look at it. Let's look at Prince William by himself. I mean, not Prince William, let's look at. Well, that piece is gone. Let me go back to it. And when you look at Charles here, I thought I had one of him and Camilla. Camilla is a much better mate for Charles than Diane ever was, because Charles is looking for a mother, not a father. He's looking for a mother. Now, let's go look at Kate and William, another famous couple. And them talking about their engagement. This is another profile that you'll find under roles. We're going to look at Kate talking about her marriage to Prince William. Can you see how much fuller this vocal print is? It is full from C to B. And it's full of emotion, all the blue. It's full of all the green, every which direction. The only place it falls on emotion is the note of E. And there's a lot of usefulness, green, the farmer. Now, there is a 2-hour class, if you think I'm talking over your head here. There is a 2-hour class that deals with what each of these notes mean and how to interpret them. But I thought that was incredible, how full her voice is. The more full the voice, the more colors in it, the more someone is being truthful with you. You can see very little red in Kate Middleton's voice, very little yellow. And the red just was predominant in Charles' voice, and the blue was dominant in Princess Diana's when we looked at it. Okay, the next picture you're looking at is Prince William. And you can see that where Kate's dominant was mostly blue, his is mostly green. So an emotional person that has a secondary of usefulness meeting somebody who has a primary of usefulness and a secondary of emotion. It is a great match. Very unlike Charles and Diana, when you put the two charts together, nothing matched. Now, when you look at them side by side, you can see just what incredible alikeness there is there. Now, look at this one. The next one is Princess Diana talking about her children. It is almost identical to Kate Middleton. What do you think that says? Is Prince William looking for his mother also? I think so, to fill what was missing, but they have a very, very strong foundation. We're looking at Charles and Diana, there's very little foundation. They really didn't want to go through with this, neither one of them. Not for the person, maybe for the position and what it was going to end up producing, but certainly not for the people involved. I just find this incredible when we look at it. It is so telling. Now, Princess Diana's print looks more like William's than Kate's, but they're still very, very similar. In all of them, there's very little red in here. That means very little just reactiveness. But when you look at Princess Diana, there's more yellow in her. There's more intellect. But she's talking about her children. You don't see that much intellect in Kate. There's much more in Diana. But still, it just matches. I love the idea of C sharp being very blue with Princess Diana. That's meaning justice and fair play. And that's one of the things she was known for. So in looking at this, I would think there's going to be compatibility. Now, I took out a couple of sentences, and I just ran the one sentence over and over again to see where their most compatibility would be on he made a statement about Kate, she made a statement about him. So that's what you're looking at. Kate Middleton is at the top and Prince William is the bottom. Now, if we look at Kate Middleton, she's yellow and blue. If we look at Prince William, he's red and blue. What does that tell you? That they're most alike when it comes to emotions, the blue. And it's in the note of A sharp, or A, really. So that's where they're most compatible, where Prince William has a score of 72, Kate has a score of 70. So if they want to get along, they will do it based on spirituality, or non-physical reality, we could say, or management of resources. That's where they have the most compatible energy. They're both blue, they're both in the note of A, and have very similar scores, 72 and 70. That's great compatibility. But guys, that's the only piece that's really tremendously compatible. Where they're going to have their squabbles is the note of F. Perception. Kate is going to take it through her intellect, and Prince William is just going to respond. If they're going to have fights, that's where it's going to be. The difference between Prince William not paying enough attention to really take it to a mental state and give her an answer. But we're just talking about the two of them talking about each other, and that's very topic specific. Another place they might have trouble is F sharp. And again, Kate has yellow, but just a small bit, 21, where Prince William has 148. So how things get carried out, which is F sharp, carrying out that balance between perception and action, William's going to run over her, especially if he gets a chance to think about it. Can you see how putting these notes right next to each other gives you a little bit of insight into how these people would get along and how they would fight? We don't have to look at C, C sharp, D, and D sharp. There's nothing there. We don't have to look at G, empty, empty. But the rest of it, you begin to compare. And when you look at A, they're almost identical. William has more spontaneity about non-physical reality, but Kate's there with him on how to carry out the resources for an emotional reason.
And does that mean something on the back of the A for a moment? Does that mean that they, I'm trying to use the word karmic, that they could have feeling and communication or feelings with each other that would be more spiritual or more feeling in nature than they don't necessarily know why they have that kind of sense?
I think
kind of connection.
That is a great interpretation. Now, I do not know the birthdays of Kate or William, either one. If someone else wants to look them up while we're doing this part of it, that will be fine. But Kate has most of her energy in A sharp. To balance that, she needs E. D sharp, E, and F around in there to balance, but mostly E. That's a Leo characteristic. And when we look at Prince William, most of his energy is in the node of F, Virgo, and he would need a Pisces to balance him. And people are saying, where do we get that information? Hold on a second. These are some of the relationship astrology pieces of information. So for those listening, the node of C is Aries. The node of C sharp is Taurus. D is Gemini. D sharp is Cancer. Sorry, I wasn't paying any attention to the recording. E is Leo. F Virgo. F sharp Libra. G Scorpio. G sharp Sag. Did anybody look up their birthdays? Capricorn, node of A sharp Aquarius, and D is Pisces. Now that's just astrology stuff, but we have found it to be so true with people's vocal prints. If you have a compatible relationship, or I should say a needy relationship, then where notes are missing would be a good place to fill in. In this case, A sharp and E in Kate's chart is very unbalanced. So an Aquarius or a Leo. And for Prince Williams, either a Virgo or a Pisces. So as soon as someone looks that up, Kate is January 9th. That makes that a Capricorn. And A, Shemaya says. Shemaya is our astrologist on board with us. So the node of A is what she's going to be looking for, and it's almost equal compatibility. I'm hoping he's looking up Williams. So Capricorn, the node of A, and D sharp Cancer are very compatible notes. And if you like yourself, you will like somebody that has a very similar chart. If there are spots in your chart that you haven't filled up, then you will seek somebody that will help fill up those pieces. Now, this is only one sentence that I repeated, and it's them talking about each other. Jerry gives us July 22nd. Is that William's birthday? So he is a Leo? Oh, he's a Leo. Isn't that awesome for Kate? She's a Capricorn, when her highest note is A sharp, and she needs that E Leo. Wow. So when we look at his big F here, and he needs a B, he's a little off the mark. Well, we got two different birthdays here for Prince William, one June 22nd and one July 22nd. Well, June 22nd would be Cancer. We're right on the corner there. Cancer and Leo. But you can look at, okay, I like Johnny because I love his blonde curly hair. And do that sentence and see how that fills you up. And you can begin to look at this from an astrology perspective. You can also do it from talking for 2 or 3 minutes into that nano voice about that person. And you'll get more of an overview of what's going on. So I'm going to look at some troublesome compatibilities. But before that, I used to teach parapsychology at the university, and I taught there for about 10 years. Another file just popped up on my computer. What is this? This is Prince William's composite. I don't know why it popped up here, but it did. And it just shows that he has a lot of foundation. Anyway, back to having taught parapsychology. One of the things that people always asked me was, tell me who I'm most compatible with. Tell me who I should be with. What's his date going to be like? And it's like, that's crazy. Why not just sit down and enjoy it? So I put together a little scale for people to work on for a week or so at a time. And this tells people what to look for in terms of what they want in a partner, not necessarily from the perspective of thinking about a specific partner and do you fit and how can I make it fit. So just talking about all of this into your narrative gives you an overview. So one, what do you do to show people you care about them? Number two, what do you do to show people you don't care about them? And mine would be, what do you do to show people you care? I spend time with them. My time is very precious, and I spend time with you just shooting a breeze, or even if we're talking about work, then that's an indication to me that I care about that person. What do you do to show people you don't care about them? I don't spend time with them. And if somebody really hurts me, they don't live in my universe. They just, I don't mind, I don't care. I don't mind if they're on the planet at all. They're just not here to me. And the difference between I don't mind and I don't care means I thought about it and I decided that I don't care about them and I don't want them to be around me and they aggravate me and whatever. That's not the opposite of love. The opposite of love is kind of apathy. So that I don't care about them means I made the decision. But if I don't mind, that means they just aren't even in there to think about. There is a book called not Love Colors, that's Pam's book. Love Behaviors, or it's got two names to it. Love Styles. And it tells you that people care in different ways. Some people buy you presents, some people spend time, some people, there's several different things I can't remember them all. It's a good book. The third question, what do you do to show, what do other people do to show you they love you? Well, my husband goes grocery shopping for me when I'm just so out of time and out of food that, I'm eating a can of beans. And to me, that just really shows that he cares. What do people do to show they don't care about you? Well, little aggravating things like you won't mow the lawn until it gets up past your knees. And to me, that's just, it's unhealthy because it breeds mosquitoes, number one. But I'd like the yard to look nice. And it's just not one of his priorities. So he says to me, don't make your problem my problem. And that's his way of saying, if you think the grass is an issue, don't make it my problem, you go get it done. But I take it as, he don't love me because he won't cut the grass. And then, how many of number one do you do for yourself? If you send cards, do you send little presents to you? Do you buy yourself flowers? Out of these 5 questions, you can find out about what you want and need in a person. And by looking at that correlate chart, you can look at the traits. My number one issue is that someone be fair and truthful, just, and honest. That's C#. That's my number one priority. I need my person to care about physical things, physical environment, getting things done physical, getting all the tone boxes done that people have ordered. So G and G sharp is really important to me. I need somebody that has the ability to balance play and work. So that's going to be F and F sharp. That, by the way, is male sexuality. F and F sharp. If there's a lot of it, expect a lot of sex. If there's not a lot, then don't expect. For females, that's C and C sharp. George has just posted to everyone Love Styles. That's it. Love Styles Compatibility. Great and wonderful book to give you some intellectual and emotional perspective of how all of this might play out. And I'll send you that if you want. One of the things that when I ask people what they would like to see, two really strange things came up. One, Miley Cyrus, and I don't know why people need to know what Miley Cyrus needs in her life. She seems to be going at it strong. But the other is they wanted to see a relationship of somebody who had just beat up somebody else, where there was trouble in the relationship. So I chose Rihanna, who is a singer, who was beat up by Chris Brown. So if we look at Rihanna's vocal print, this looks pretty good, a combination of intellect and spontaneity, which really means she's looking to the future. If you look at these colors, fact form, future feel, and future is red, also very reactive and responsive. And you can see by this that she has B in stress. That's a Pisces energy you just learned. And they are together for not themselves, but the universe. Her highest note is F sharp. The balancing note there would be C. It could be B if she's looking to something for the future. Because if you look at F sharp, its balancing note is C, but its future balance is B. Its past balance is C sharp. So we look at this, and this is, I'll play a little bit of this. This is what she said about getting beat up. Well, we don't have any sound here. Does anybody know how I can get sound here? Because this is the problem. I didn't turn anything off. Yes, I did. I turned the speaker off when it started. Yeah, okay.
Over again. Nice. If you looked at it. I get very embarrassed. I feel humiliated. I get angry all over again. Every time I see it, the whole thing plays back in my head. So I don't like to see it.
Why be ashamed? Why would you be ashamed?
I fell in love with that person. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing that that's the type of person that I fell in love with. So far in love. So unconditional that I went back. To see your face like that, it's humiliating to say that.
The next 30 minutes, here's what happened. He saw a text message on his cell phone from an old girlfriend. She got angry.
I caught him in a lie, and he wouldn't tell the truth. So I wouldn't drop it. it that I wouldn't drop it because obviously his back was up against the wall. The truth is right here in the text message. So
there's evidence between perception and action. He's lying to her. When you look at E and A sharp, 12 to 20 and 32, his words that he's saying do not match his spirit, the E and the A sharp together. But what she's missing and what she's seeking is the B. And the B is the Pisces quality of peace at all costs. So he did apologize, and I looked at his voice. I don't know if we have time to look at all of it or play any of it. I'm going to make these smaller. And again, for those of you watching, all we're doing is we took the recording right off of what they were saying, put it in our nano voice, and just looked at the results. Now, from Chris Brown's perspective, it was an intellectual move. Do you notice what's missing from both of these? I was astounded. He beat the crap out of her, and she's trying to talk about it and deal with it. And she's dealing with it in an intellectual perspective for some reaction, some future reaction. He's dealing with it from an intellectual perspective. Blue is missing. The emotions. Yes, Terry. Terry answers no emotion. Absolutely. For either one of them, there's no emotion about this. So they've either lived through it and they've got their lessons, but look at what might make her go back. The note of B that she has missing is a strong note for him at 63, 42 is average. So if she goes back to him, the reason is going to be for peace, for peacefulness. It's not going to be for any kind of physical security. She's doing that on her own. The note of A, she's filled up on her own. She's much more over and together now than he is. The other issue, the reason she might go back is D sharp. His D sharp is 56, her D sharp is 6, 8, around in there. But there is a little bit of intellect. If he could talk her into doing this for an intellectual reason, or a look at the, I should say intellectual reason at D sharp, which is that usefulness of information, and then combine it with the responsiveness, reactive of B, he might be able to talk her into going back. Is that manipulative for you to know that information about somebody? If Chris Brown could look at Rihanna's vocal print, he would know exactly how to approach her and really what to stay away from. If he does not include a universal goodness peace reason, if he just uses his words, and that's what he's using in the apology, just the words. If he goes at her with just the words and not the reasons behind the words of why this would be a good thing for both of them, he will not win. Richard, do you have any comment about that? Because I don't think we've ever brought that up before in looking at people's prints.
Well, what came to mind as you were talking about it is that if we approach her from the angle of, look, this would be good PR for both of us and our careers if we stick together, if we work through this and stick together. If we would approach her from the business, not the rationale of emotion, but the rationale of like, look, this is going to be really good for our business and our careers and our relationship that way. we should stick together and work this, try and work this out.
That's exactly where he needs to come from. Would this be useful if you just broke up with somebody? So
Boy, howdy.
Yeah, she needs a Pisces. He needs a Scorpio, an Aquarius, or a Capricorn. And I don't know what her birthday is, but that's his notes that are missing. E and A sharp are opposite, so the Aquarius, the A sharp, would bring back his too much E. That would balance him as a person. And for Rihanna, she has too much F sharp, so C would balance her, an Aries person, or possibly anything on either side of the Aries. The back side, which is the Pisces, or the front side, which is Taurus. The C sharp or the B. In this case, we could use E, A sharp, A, and B. So you're saying the missing notes are the best zodiac signs that will make a person balanced. Okay, Shemaya, I want to answer that with a caveat. If you need a relationship to complete you, yes, that is true. But if you like yourself already, you will probably like somebody that has a very similar vocal print that you do. If you stand on your own, if you're a strong person, you'll probably like somebody with a similar vocal print, like Kate and William. If you are a needy person, you need somebody else to fill you up, and together you make one whole person, then you would go for what is not there in your chart to fill you up and to have that fulfillment, I guess you would say. But again, it's a needy relationship. Absolutely, a therapist would benefit from this, and also from the printout. So if we hit this little thing, it gives us the printout of what's going on. If you ever had to lie to see Jeff the Sun, you do it. Good words written in oral. I don't know what he does for a living. Is he a song person? Ideas come at you when you're distracted, blah, blah, blah. So it gives you a printout. Now, this is the nano voice. It only gives you 3 to 4 paragraphs. The invoice is the one that we use for therapists and teach them, and it gives you 3 and 4 pages of information. Fulfillment frequencies, yes. Together you make one whole person. Now, this is Chris Brown, and this is Rihanna. And if you have, well, where did, oh, that went over here on the other side. You drag it over. If you find similar sentences in here, then that's where you can work on ideas together. See, she's into duty, and I don't see that these two are compatible based on their printouts. I don't think I can get them both on the same page. But we could put all of this together and put it up in a file and send it to you if anybody's interested in that. He's a singer-performer, and that's what it says in his printout. I think this is beautiful. To use words very creatively, yes, words through written, oral, all of this supports the fact, ability to inspire people with stories and demonstrations. All of this inspires a songwriter. I think that's incredible. The last one that I did was Miley, and I think Miley's broken up. I just don't know. But her song about doing Molly, and I don't know who she had on stage with her. I don't know if she has a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or what. But this was about her performance at the VMA, the Music Awards. And this is what she had to say about it.
I don't pay attention to the negative because I've seen this play out so many times. How many times have we seen this play out in pop music? You know now. You know what's happening. Madonna's done it. Britney's done it. Every VMA performance, anyone that performs, anyone that performs, that's what you're looking for. You're wanting to make history. Me and Robin the whole time said, we're about to make history right now. You're thinking about it more than I thought about it when I did it. Like, I didn't even think about it because that's just me.
There's the wine.
I think that I should look up ecstasy on our computer program because she certainly sounded like she was on something. Did she to anybody else? Nobody's going to touch that one?
Well, I think, A, that's pretty helpful, and B, the amazing dopamine rush of performing in front of millions of people live could be quite a drug unto itself, just like people who like to jump off buildings or, it's got to be a rush. Some kind of hormone cascade that's got to be somewhat blinding.
She's talking faster than I can hear. Either I can't spell ecstasy or it's not in our database. So if somebody wants to tell me how to spell, from being scandalous, yes. What would you think her vocal print would look like? You think there might be a lot of red because she's reacting?
I would think so, and she seems like she's a reactive personality. She does get that kind of staccato pitch to her talk. Wow.
Yes. Are you shocked?
I'm shocked.
Very foundational, very to the point, very direct, knows what she's doing. This whole thing was absolutely planned exactly the way it happened. Does it fit her spirit? No. But she knew what she was doing, and it was absolutely planned. Now look at this. This is
got her name out in the social media, Twitterverse, Facebooky, look, we're talking about it on the news, like it's a thing.
Yes.
So yeah, we're perfectly.
But she has no C sharp. Was it just or fair? She has reservations, but she's not showing them. Justice and spirit. Was it just and fair to her spirit? No, she stepped out of her comfort zone to do this, but she doesn't want anybody to know it. She has a strong, strong foundation. Now, here's a shock. This is Chris Brown. Look at that strong, strong foundation. He is serious in what he is saying. Now, do you remember last week when we did Obama and Putin and all those people? A lot of their numbers were up here. In fantasy, these people are doing it for real. Rihanna has a double foundation. So she has two reasons for doing this, two strong reasons for doing this. That looking at those lower layers and looking at whether or not there is a foundation. Do you want to see a comparison of what let me see if I can find one of the Syrian things. And you'll get to see somebody that doesn't have a foundation. Who do you want to see?
So her plan worked perfectly.
Yes, it was a total media blitz. Putin, it was a publicity thing. That's all it was.
Yeah, it's exactly what she was doing.
And Totally, she was not okay with it, but she knew it was going to put her over the top. Well, that's not what I want. Where's Putin? Why is my computer running on top of each other? Now, there's Putin's voice, reactive, mostly, for future event, red, balance for the universe, and that note of B. But look at up here in fantasy. Very good foundation, little bits lost. Of all the people involved, he had the best foundation. But there's a lot of fantasy here. These people are talking about fights and making up and why I did my music the way I did, have a much stronger foundation and lack of entertainment fantasy than the leader of Russia. Don't you find that?
It's amazing. Can you put up her numbers again?
Yeah, let me get this out of the way. Miley Cyrus.
Look at that. That's amazing. She has, I mean, very low numbers in the narcissism. Or ego. I'll call it ego.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Isn't this fun getting to see what people's real intentions are? And you guys can do that too with that Nano Voice. It's free. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to download it and play with it unless you
underestimate the power of the Nano Voice.
Yes. Would you like to see any other people as compared there? How about Carrie? Want to see him? This is what we did last week. A little bit sporadic foundation. Somebody who gets up and makes us. Oh yeah, look at that. A lot of fantasy. Do you want to see somebody that is just totally off the wall? Only 3 notes. He's not telling the truth in any way. It's all ego. Then notice C. And remember that chart. It's on Nano Voice you can download. Look at that. Total lack of foundation. Thousands in imagination.
That's amazing. Maybe he's actually not that.
I would sooner think he is than Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
There is one on here that looks very similar to Gaddafi. That is Obama talking about Syria, which is obvious he didn't know how to handle very well. But look at the egos, 300s, and a scattered foundation. He and Carrie both have a scattered foundation. Of all the people that we talked about there, Putin had the best foundation. Let me see if I can find Gaddafi, who it was a religious zealot, remember, that was running a country, and I told the government he's not going to quit. Is Christine, let me go over here and see if I can find it in profiles. EQ on, no. Oh, I don't have profiles here. Let me see. Here it is. Whoops, no. That's Gaddafi that was murdered. Remember? Get rid of this. Gaddafi. Obama. Does this scare you? I can't get them both on there. It's just not big enough to get them both on there. Look at that.
That's amazing.
Here's
And
Gaddafi.
spooky all at the same time.
There's Gaddafi's numbers. There's Obama's numbers. Gaddafi's numbers.
Wow.
They're both convinced that what they're doing is for the best of everyone concerned. That's why you see that high blue B. Now, the question here is, by whose perspective is what is good? If for Gaddafi, maybe the perspective is everybody in the country gets killed and drinks orange juice or something, and I don't know what Obama's thinking, but much more ego here. There is a lack of justice in Gaddafi's. Lots and lots of ego. 317 for Obama, 205 for Gaddafi. Injustice, 369 for Obama, 74. So Gaddafi is much less interested in justice. He's interested in doing what he thinks is right for everybody else. He has a higher push to that 333, normal's 42, where Obama has an 87. So Obama isn't going to push as hard as Gaddafi, but he's still coming from an egotistical perspective. We could write a book on this, people. The voice doesn't lie. The words, Gaddafi gave people just married a house and all education paid for and big water project for all. So you're saying Gaddafi was a good guy? Just stop showing all the stuff at the top of each word. What does that mean, George? Stop showing all the stuff at the top. I don't know what that means. Please explain all of the octaves. Okay, 0 that you see on this chart, -3, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2. 0 is middle C. Women and kids talk in middle C. Women also talk in -1. Little kids talk in +1 and +2. That's why we say when you get to look at all of this, that -1 and -2 is childlike, naivete, imagination. We'll kick the toolbars off. Go to View and click on the items that are showing. Go to View. Well, George, I guess we can talk after the show because I can't, I'm just too ignorant about computers to follow what you're trying to tell me. Click off all these toolbars like that.
I think you're talking about some setting in Windows. Now, maybe, although maybe, I don't know. It seems like he's talking about, yeah, he's on the Microsoft Word document in Word.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll try to do that for next time because we're out of time. And I will put these up on the site as soon as I can get them written and brought together. And if you guys have things that you want to see, people you want to know about, let me know. We're going to be doing happy hour next Tuesday, and it's going to be on anti-aging and rejuvenation. So if you have comments about what we're doing here and what we're showing or need to know more, go to that Nano Voice. There is a 2-hour video there under Nano Voice that you can download. And we have classes about it all the time that's on our site. The charts are here that you can download. And if you want to take one of the advanced nano classes, let us know. We do have 4 scholarships for the upcoming 5-day class if you want to make this a profession. And I should say those are matching scholarship. We match you dollar for dollar. We just had some donations and they wanted to help people take the class. Well, Terry, get in touch with us. Go to, she says she wants to attend. Go to classes, and there's class information. Frequently asked questions about classes are under info. Fill out the application, and we try to take at least 10 people per class. Well, we shouldn't say it that way. We'll take up to 10 per class, but we have 4 scholarships that will be matching scholarships. So the quicker you can get your application in, and they will pick the people probably that are going to go ahead and help settle bioacoustic communities in their, wherever they are. Okay, well, let me know. Just go over there to classes. Any ending thoughts, Richard? Did you learn stuff from this one?
The power of the nanovoice.
It looks.
Yeah, I mean, nanovoice always amazes me how much information is in there. Considering it seems to be a pretty simple, once you learn how to use it. And there's not really that much to it. I mean, you download it, you get it in, you open it up, you talk, and boom, there's a report. But I mean, it gives you a lot of information.
And for those of you who are posting, I didn't get in here until late. This is going to be up on our site. You'd go to Radio Vocal Profiling Live, and everything we did tonight is going to be up here. This is last week's show. So we're going to try to keep these all up and running for people, and these are the video portions of it. And it'll be up on Blog Talk Radio probably within a half hour or so. So all of these archives are going to be here. Yeah. Did we do the last vocal profiling on Syria, and then the one before that was on Alzheimer's and who in Congress has Alzheimer's? That was a very interesting. We got a lot of mail about that. How dare you? And it was like we had the articles ready to send. This was a dumb thing for people to do. Like somebody filibustering their own bill and somebody totally lying. So it's there, and we're getting the word out about what's really going on in the world. But you don't have to wait for a government official or some famous person. You can do this on your friends, relatives, and kids and know where they're coming from. Thank you, Richard, for those wonderful words about that deceptively small little nano voice.
I'm had I know it's going to happen in the future. I'm envisioning picking up an iPad or a tablet rather than a nanovoice.
I would love it. We just haven't found a way to do it yet that is reasonable.
I keep putting it out there. I think at some point somebody will just pop up and go, well, of course, I can do that.
Well, one of my problems with it.
In our chat room, I know there's chatters in there that are listening or on Blog Talk Radio. There's somebody out there just itching for that kind of
Well, my problem with it is I don't know enough about computer programming or anything else to get anything done. So when people propose things to me, they have to take the ball and run because I can't do it. I just don't know enough. But I would love to have.
You know enough, but not that kind.
Thank you, Richard. We do have several other programs that are made with this. One is leadership, and I don't know if I have this here while we're looking. See if I can move this over so people can look at it. It is very similar, but it tells you what your leadership abilities are and what you're leaning toward, what kind of leadership. And the printout talks about leadership. We want to do one for marriage proposals. We want to do one for, here, I'll bring it over here so you can see it. See, who do we have in here? Oh, just Tommy Priakos. Now, he has a little bit of a scattered foundation, but look at his leader. Well, ended up over here. Let me bring it over. So everything in here is based on his vocal print of what kind of leader he would be. We're going to do it on compatibility and relationships, and any other thing that we can think of to get this information to the public. This would be great for somebody who is training people or even training executives to work together in a committee. Richard, who's up for Blog Talk Radio on Sunday?
Let's consult my crystal ball, I believe.
Is it those naked calorie people?
I think it's, yes, the Carlson talking about the newest release of the naked calorie.
Okay.
It's a wonderful book about how to shop around the grocery store. It's great. They're very informative. Boy, are they research. Wow. Boy, that's shocking. That is probably the most shocking thing I saw today was this chart of Miley Cyrus with such a solid foundation and no ego.
Doesn't it just blow your mind?
Amazing.
You would think she was just a nutball.
Yeah.
The way she was talking.
This is a nutball with a foundation.
It's all show. And on that note, we're going to end the show. Thank you, as always, Richard, for being part of this. You always bring a different perspective. And for those of you who want the chat, for the chat, click Control-A, gives you everything. Control-C will copy it, and you can write down whatever was in the chat. Lots of good information always in the chat. And we will see, this is Tuesday, so we'll see you on Sunday on Blog Talk Radio.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Have a good week. Thanks, Sherry.
Bye now.